All right, this is Stu Borzon with Sun City Running. We're here with one of the new El Paso signees of this graduating class of 2024, Aaliyah Lopez. She's going to be signing with William Penn. And first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I guess we'll jump right into it. Um, Talk to us a little bit about your decision in choosing a college and how you ended up picking William Penn.
So, if I'm being honest, I was a little bit nervous that I wasn't gonna get any scholarships at all. And then towards the end of the season, coaches um started texting me and like saying that they were interested. And it became a little bit overwhelming, I guess, at first because I didn't know what I wanted or who to pick at the time. But talking to the coaches really helped, like getting to know the coaches and then like the athletes there that helped as well. And I guess one of the reasons why I picked William Penn was um because of, if I'm being honest, it was because they offered more, so it was like more beneficial.
Right.
And
That's
then
okay.
yeah, and then it had like more advantages on the running and academics as well. So I felt that was gonna help me benefit in my degree.
Awesome. And there's nothing wrong with, getting a little bit of more money because, not only is that athletics important, but you need money to further your academics as well.
Yeah.
And you know, there's not a lot of money that comes out of El Paso, for us. And that is an important thing. But William Penn is a D2 school. You know, do you feel like that kind of played a part of your decision making process and as well in what you were looking for out of a college?
Yeah, I wasn't really too picky about the divisions or anything. So I guess it didn't really affect me.
Right? Because for athletes, sometimes it can be a big point of contention as far as oh, I got to go to a D1 school, I got to go to the best. But sometimes going to a D2 or a D3 school is can be extremely beneficial to the individual, even JUCO, and I think that's something that might not be spoken enough or loudly enough, in terms of what athletes are doing. Do you feel kind of very satisfied with, I mean, obviously you're satisfied with your decision, to go to WP, but you know, are you even happier that you feel like there's maybe a little bit less pressure attending a D2 school?
Um, I feel like that's one of like yeah, like how you mentioned, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not gonna go to a JUCO, I'm not gonna go to D1, I mean D2, D3, like I wanna go D3 one. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's what you feel like is gonna benefit you more. And I don't think your division that you are should, I don't know how to say, like it shouldn't have an impact on how you're gonna do on the season. Because at the end of the day, you could be D1, D2, D3, or even JUCO, but it's gonna matter on what you put in work.
Correct, correct. Absolutely. And we'll kind of use that as a segue into our next question. I was looking at some of your progression 2023, you're around 29 in the two, uh, about a 65 and a quarter. And over the progression of a year, you dropped about 2 seconds in the two and a good 3 seconds in the four. Um, what would you attribute this growth? That's a pretty considerable jump. When we're speaking more of shorter distances, anytime they start chopping off is big progression. And how do you feel about this year in high school as opposed to last year?
I feel last year I hit like rock bottom bad, and I became like disencouraged and I didn't believe in myself. So I guess like I didn't really push myself. But summer I stopped. I like dedicated and I was consistent. I had help, like you could do it, and then my mom as well, my sister, she runs as well. So they were all very, very supportive. So this year I feel like what helped me improve so much was that I finally learned how to believe in myself. And I didn't put as much pressure. Like if I had a bad meet, I wouldn't get upset with myself. I would just learn from it.
The mental psyche is such an underrated thing in sports, and it's not spoken on enough, in my opinion. But what do you feel like was the catalyst for you to be like, you know what, I just need to change my mental approach. This is what I'm doing wrong, which, identifying the errors is always kind of a gut check, for your ego. It's hard to admit your own faults and be like, okay, I got to do something about it. But what do you feel like was the catalyst that like helped you say, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. I know I can do it, and now I'm going to change the process.
I feel like it was my mom, actually, my mom. Because there was no, my junior year, there was times where I would like cry because I did so bad. And my mom would just like comfort me, like telling me like for me not to be so hard on myself and that I have to start believing in myself. And then I would start watching like coaches on TikTok, and they would say that like much like 80% to be good in track, 80% of the time you have to have a positive mindset. Like, yeah, you have to be consistent with practice and you have to be in shape and all that. But if you're gonna be thinking negative, then you're more than likely gonna do bad. So
Right,
I
right.
feel like that's what helped.
And in for those that know you're all about track, but in 2022 you had a brief stint in cross country. Um,
Yeah.
would you say that kind of helped play a role into your mental development as well as the physical aspect?
Um I cross country wasn't really my thing.
It's okay to admit, it's all
Um,
right.
I know a lot of people are into cross country and props to them because when I did cross country, it it was bad. Just me personally, because I don't really like the longer distance.
Hmm.
But the coaches, well, Coach McLean and Coach Sally and all the teammates, they were they weren't negative. They were very, very positive. And even though I wasn't like a long distance runner, they helped me. Like we were really close, you know. Even with the track, we're really close. So I feel like our teammates and our coaches is what also helps us be so good.
Right, right, right. And thinking of all the things that you learned in high school, um, what do you feel are some of the big speaking points about yourself and what you learned that you feel like can help you transition to collegiate running and excel at a college level?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. So, all the things that you've learned in high school, what do you feel are some of the big speaking points, at least from you, that you've learned over your 4 years there running? What do you feel like you can take from that rather, and apply it to, being able to transition into college and then being able to apply it to your running at a collegiate level?
No matter how hard it gets or how stressful it gets, to never give up is the leadership.
Awesome. And what would you say is your biggest strength that you feel is going to really benefit your team when you get there to WP?
I'd say my probably my personality. I like to say I have a good personality.
Right.
You know, I'm not as social, but the people that I am social with, I'm very like I'd say I'm a pretty positive person.
Awesome. Awesome. And also, with that being said, what are some of the things that you A, hope to accomplish in college, and B, some of the things that you're looking forward to learning and kind of like diving deeper into, whether it's physical or more mental?
For college, well, one of my main goals for track is to go sub 60 on my 400. So hopefully with the training in summer and my coaches in college will help me.
Awesome, awesome. And I like this question because it's always different. It's a cliche question, but I think it's so important for this process, this type of interview. especially, for seniors. And it almost seems like nowadays, junior year is where we start looking for colleges. That's when the search or the hunt begins, so to speak. What would your advice be to young athletes that are getting ready to start this process or who might already be in this process?
So what I feel like will help is to make a Twitter account, but don't have a Twitter account like that's gonna be for everything. Have it strictly for track and post like your workouts, your um your track meets, your PRs, and just follow coaches, and eventually they'll all start coming and messaging.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down. It's great that, El Paso is going to kind of get to see a little bit different part of you, a little bit part of this process. And, William Penn is getting a great athlete. I know you're real smart too. That's one of the things that your coaches talk to me more about, not just your athletic ability and your work ethic on the track, so to speak, but in the classroom as well. You're very bright. So congratulations. Don't forget about El Paso. And you've already made us proud. So we look forward to seeing everything that you do in the future. So congratulations.
Thank you.